Welcome to the AXA Engineers Podcast, episode 22. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something really crucial, I think, for pretty much every civil engineering firm out there that's looking to innovate, get more efficient, and just, thrive. We're talking about the strategic power of civil engineering outsourcing. Our mission today, well, it's to figure out how your firm can actually reclaim valuable time, really boost your operational efficiency, and get your focus back on what truly drives growth. And we'll be looking closely at how AXANH Engineers plays a really key role in making this strategic shift happen for firms like yours. It's about unlocking potential, really. So if you find this deep dive useful, please remember to follow us for more insights and definitely comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and questions. Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Picture this scenario. You've got your most experienced engineers, right? The ones whose expertise, frankly, commands top dollar. They're pivotal to your firm's reputation. Now imagine them spending a big chunk of their time, their really valuable time, on tasks that,
Well, they're necessary, sure, but they don't fully use those advanced skills. We're talking about things like routine drafting, prepping data, other procedural stuff.
That's such a critical observation. And what's really interesting, I think, is that this often isn't a failure of management. It's not like people aren't trying. It's more like a systemic issue baked into a lot of traditional project workflows in civil engineering. And at AXA Engineers, with over 15 years focused on the U.S. market, starting more than 1,000 projects every year, well, we've seen this pattern again and again, so many firms. And the opportunity cost is just huge. When your top experts get tied up in these routine tasks, maybe cleaning survey data for hours or drafting basic layouts, they're just not focused on the high value stuff, like engaging with clients, solving those really thorny engineering problems, or, driving strategic growth.
Right, that lost potential.
Exactly. It's not just about the time, it's what they could have been doing. And that's precisely where effective civil engineering outsourcing, especially with a partner like AXA Engineers, really becomes a game changer. It fundamentally shifts how you use your best people.
So you're basically saying firms invest heavily in this amazing talent, these really smart, experienced engineers. But the big question is, are they truly being used to their highest potential? Are they tackling the big challenges? Or are they getting, bogged down?
Bogged down is a good way to put it, in the mundane, the repetitive stuff.
It really sounds like a significant drain, doesn't it? Both on the budget, paying top salaries for procedural work, and on just progress, innovation capacity.
Absolutely. It's easy to miss these hidden inefficiencies because, like you said, the work gets done eventually, but the cumulative cost, their time, their focus, that innovative spark, it's massive.
And that's what we want to explore, how AXA Engineers offers a path really, to reclaim potentially hundreds of those high-value engineering hours every year by redirecting that talent to where it makes the biggest impact.
Exactly. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, look, most civil engineering firms operate with workflows they know, right? They feel familiar. But honestly, very few have really taken the time to systematically map those processes out, like really map them step by step, because that's how you uncover the hidden constraints, the bottlenecks that are quietly slowing everything down.
So it's not always the obvious things.
Often not. The biggest bottlenecks we see at AXA Engineers, they're frequently not the super complex technical challenges. Instead, they come from how senior expertise gets allocated. Especially, and this is key, in those early project phases. So the important question for you, for any firm listening, is where in your workflow are your highly skilled people spending time on tasks that, frankly, don't need their level of expertise? And what's the opportunity cost of that?
Okay, that point about early phases is interesting. Let's get concrete, like the pre-design phase, super foundational, right? But senior engineers often spend hours just cleaning up raw survey data or drawing up initial sketch plans.
Hours and hours. It's incredibly common.
And look, these tasks are absolutely critical. You need accurate base data, but they are also highly procedural, very step-by-step.
Think about it. You get the survey data, could be from a total station, GPS, maybe even a point cloud. It's raw. It needs processing, removing noise, interpreting features, trees, curbs, utilities, then converting it all into a clean, layered base map in CAD.
Setting up coordinate systems, making sure it's all accurate.
Right, essential steps. But crucially, these are steps that a specialized external team, like the one at AXA Engineers, can handle with extreme precision and efficiency.
Freeing up your internal experts for, higher level thinking, conceptual design, client strategy.
Precisely. And this pre-design phase, like you said, it's almost always underestimated, how much time and resource it really eats up. Our observations at AXA Engineers consistently show it takes longer than planned. It stretches timelines before you've even really started designing anything.
So the project's already behind schedule, almost from day one.
Effectively, yes. And when your senior staff engineers with advanced degrees, PE licenses, years of experience are doing this data processing themselves, they're inevitably diverting attention from things like design oversight, complex project planning, risk assessment, or that proactive client engagement that builds relationships.
Which are arguably the things they should be doing.
That's where their unique value lies, the direct result of this misalignment. Well, it's project delays, slower overall timelines, and honestly a lower return on investment for your most valuable people. The real bottleneck isn't usually the technical difficulty of the data itself. It's this basic misallocation of labor. And that's exactly the kind of problem AXA Engineers is set up to solve through smart civil engineering outsourcing.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So for firms facing this, how does AXA Engineers tackle that pre-design bottleneck directly? What's the solution?
Well, we offer a dedicated survey data processing service. It's specifically designed for this, built on really rigorous quality control.
So it's not just about speed, it's about accuracy too.
Absolutely. Accuracy is paramount. We use multi-layer checks, advanced software, but also expert human review. The goal is to deliver processed base maps, initial sketch plans that are not just incredibly accurate, but also delivered fast.
How fast are we talking?
Typically within 24 to 48 hours of receiving the raw survey data.
Wow, okay. That could really jumpstart a project.
It completely changes the dynamic at the front end. And what's really transformative here is how this externalization changes the workflow. It breaks a linear dependency. Instead of your team waiting or your senior engineer getting bogged down.
The AXA Engineers team is working on the base file in parallel.
Exactly. While our specialized team prepares that clean, layered, standard-compliant CAD file, your internal team can move forward on other critical path stuff, like preliminary design ideas, early client chats, resource planning. It just accelerates the whole project timeline right from the beginning.
Can you give an example of how that plays out?
Sure. Think about a mid-sized firm we worked with. They constantly had frustrating delays right at the start of projects. Turned out their lead engineer, who should have been focused on strategy and complex design,
Was doing the data prep?
spent nearly half of the first week on it. Managing raw data, drafting initial plans, high-level meetings got pushed back, strategic thinking was delayed, their biggest asset wasn't being leveraged. By partnering with AXA engineers, shifting that data prep to us, they got clean CAD files back in 2 days.
So a lead engineer could immediately.
Jump straight into the strategic work. Leading design sessions, presenting initial concepts to the client, it compressed their initiation schedule significantly, set a much faster pace for everything that followed.
That's huge.
It is. And this isn't just simple delegation. It's a strategic reallocation of your intellectual capital, facilitated by AXA engineers through intelligent civil engineering outsourcing.
Okay, but let's address the elephant in the room for many firms. Quality control. How do you ensure the work meets their specific internal standards? Because that's non-negotiable.
Absolutely. And that's why our quality assurance is so robust. It has multiple layers of review built in. We strictly follow client-provided standards layering, annotations, everything. We align closely on project requirements right from the start.
So it integrates smoothly.
Seamlessly. The goal is that the outsourced work fits perfectly into your ongoing internal workflows. Minimal friction, practically no rework needed.
So the immediate win is outsourcing that foundational work survey, data processing, topo analysis, initial site plans, existing conditions drawings.
Right. Critical but procedural tasks. Assign those to an expert external partner, like AXA engineers.
And your senior engineers get freed up for the complex design, the critical judgments, the client management, right from day one.
Exactly. And the net result, well, it's faster projects, definitely. Increased velocity.
Which leads to better profitability.
Better profitability through better resource use, yes. And often, significantly improved client satisfaction because things move quicker and senior attention is where it should be.
All flowing from that strategic decision around civil engineering outsourcing with AXA engineers.
That's right. But okay, what happens after that initial data phase? When the project moves into the really production-heavy stages.
Yeah, design development, construction document.
Exactly. That's often where the next set of bottlenecks pop up. Think about the challenge, converting those approved concepts into super precise, comprehensive construction documents, often under really tight deadlines.
And managing surges in workload, right?
Yeah.
That must be a huge stressor.
Huge. Maybe you have multiple project deadlines hitting at once, or one massive project lands unexpectedly and threatens to swamp your team. This brings up a critical question for basically every firm. How do you handle those sudden peaks in demand?
Without hiring more full-time staff you might not need later.
Or relying on temporary contractors who might not know your standards or fit your culture. It's a real balancing act.
And this is where AXA engineers offer something powerful for scalability, isn't it?
It really is.
You have a large team, right? Over 80 professionals. And a massive civil 3D license portfolio in Vietnam.
That's correct. It gives us significant capacity. We can seamlessly augment a client's internal team during those surge periods.
Acting like a true extension of their capability.
Precisely. And let's be really clear. This isn't about replacing your internal team. We emphasize that strongly.
It's strategic augmentation.
Exactly. Strategic augmentation through expert civil engineering outsourcing. Think about those production-heavy tasks.
Like detailed grading plans, utility layouts,
Yeah.
stormwater plans.
Yes, grading, utilities, stormwater. These are complex and critical, but also involve a lot of detailed procedural work, earthwork calcs, pipe network modeling, ensuring compliance.
Things that can be handled expertly externally.
Absolutely. By externalizing these production components, your core internal team, your senior designers, your project managers, they get freed up.
To focus on oversight, engineering judgment, the really critical stuff.
Exactly. Ensuring quality, driving innovation, making those key decisions that require their deep experience. And the benefit is clear. You maintain project velocity even during peak times without sacrificing quality or burning out your internal team. You can confidently manage more work.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about other related needs, like visualizations?
Ah, yes. That's another growing area. High-quality 3D renderings and visualizations. They've basically become standard now, haven't they?
For client presentations, public meetings, getting approvals.
Definitely. They communicate the project vision so clearly,
Ah.
help stakeholders understand the scope, reduce misunderstandings. They can really smooth the approval process.
But setting up an in-house rendering capability is expensive, right?
Yeah.
Software, hardware, training.
Very expensive. And often that specialized capability sits idle between projects. It's not always efficient. So instead of that big investment, partnering with AXA engineers makes a lot of sense. Our team is already equipped.
With the tech, the skills.
Exactly. We produce photorealistic 3D visuals efficiently. You leverage that specialized skill and tech only when you need it. Optimizing workflow, optimizing budget. It's smart civil engineering outsourcing, like having a world-class visualization department on call.
Okay, but back to that core concern quality. When you're outsourcing deliverables that are literally the blueprints for construction, how do you guarantee they meet the firm's standards? Exceed them even?
It's the #1 concern, and rightly so.
So how does AXA engineers ensure that? You mentioned a partnership model, starting with a pilot project.
Yes, that pilot project is fundamental. It's a structured, proving ground approach. We don't just jump in. We understand trust and precision are built. So we start small. On that pilot, both teams, the client's team and ours, meticulously align on everything.
Like layering standards, annotation styles.
Everything. Layering, annotations, symbols, templates, review cycles. We nail down the communication protocols, define the requirements in minute detail. We refine the workflow together.
So it's a learning phase for both sides.
Absolutely. It ensures our team fully understands and implements the client's specific technical standards and preferences before we scale up. No surprises, consistency guaranteed.
And after the pilot, how is quality maintained?
Through dedicated project managers, each client gets a single point of contact for the whole engagement. They ensure clear communication, run regular progress meetings, handle feedback, proactively solve issues. It fosters a true partnership.
Not just a vendor relationship.
Exactly. And the workflow itself has multiple review cycles built in. Every deliverable gets thoroughly checked internally by our senior technical leads for accuracy, consistency, adherence to standards before it even goes to the client.
And it's always in the client's preferred format.
Always. Precisely to their standards. So it integrates seamlessly, virtually eliminating rework. This whole meticulous, multi-layered approach, that's the hallmark of AXA engineers' commitment to quality in civil engineering outsourcing.
Okay, so it sounds like it's much more than just handing off tasks. It's not transactional.
Far from it.
AXA engineers seems to transform civil engineering outsourcing into something deeply integrated, a managed extension of the firm's own capabilities.
That's the goal, to build reliability and quality into the process.
So the result is a system firms can rely on for scalability, taking on more work, bigger projects.
Without increasing fixed overheads, yes.
And maintaining that uncompromising quality even when things get really busy.
Especially when things get busy. It builds a flexible, dependable capacity so the firm can focus on its core strengths and strategy. And that really is the critical takeaway here if we connect all this back to the bigger picture. Strategic civil engineering outsourcing, when it's done right with rigorous controls, a true partnership mindset like the AXA engineers model, it lets firms maintain their high standards and significantly expand their capacity, sustainably.
So it's not just an operational tweak.
No, it's a fundamental shift, a strategic shift in how firms manage their most valuable resource or room, their people, their expertise, and how they structure workflows for the future. It's about building a more resilient, agile, and ultimately more profitable business model.
By offloading those time-intensive production tasks.
Like the detailed drafting, the data processing, the visualization, your core engineering staff gets freed up.
For oversight, QA, client management, innovation.
Exactly, the high-value work. This strategic realignment positions your firm for sustained growth, better profitability, and better client outcomes. It's a win-win-win.
Okay, let's boil this down. What does this mean for you, the listener, and your firm? What's the bottom line? Well, the conclusion seems pretty clear. By strategically outsourcing key tasks with a partner like AXA Engineers, your firm could genuinely gain up to, what was it, 40% more time?
Up to 40% more time? Yes. That's what we consistently see as achievable.
40% more time for high-level design, client strategy, innovation. Just think about that. What could your team do with that extra capacity?
It's transformative.
It really shifts things. From being potentially resource-constrained, hitting bottlenecks, to becoming a scalable, resilient operation.
An ecosystem, really. One that adapts to market changes, takes on bigger challenges confidently.
And can scale up when opportunity knocks. You're not turning down good projects because you're stretched too thin.
Exactly.
Imagine that growth, that innovation, that competitive edge. That's what this kind of strategic partnership in civil engineering outsourcing can unlock. So here's a final thought to leave you with, a profound one maybe. What if the biggest barrier holding your firm back, preventing that next level of innovation, faster project delivery, strategic growth? What if it isn't a lack of talent or ambition? What if it's simply an unaddressed bottleneck in your workflow?
A bottleneck AXA Engineers is perfectly positioned to help you identify and resolve.
Turning that challenge into a massive opportunity for your civil engineering firm. Don't let those hidden inefficiencies limit your potential.
The first step is often just identifying that constraint.
Right. We strongly recommend doing a bottleneck analysis. Find that single biggest constraint on your project throughput. And to explore how a strategic partnership with AXA Engineers could genuinely transform your civil engineering outsourcing strategy, optimize your operations, unlock your firm's full potential, visit axaengineers.com/services. Or even better, reach out for a free pilot project. Let's identify and tackle your firm's biggest bottleneck together. We really hope this deep dive gave you a lot to think about. Food for thought, new possibilities. Remember to follow us for more insights like this, and please share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.